There are some places in the world where ships go missing and are never seen again. And sometimes those ships turn up years later, still afloat, but with their entire crew missing. Here are 3 of the most mysterious ghost ships ever found. Number 3. A ship found drifting with no crew. On July 1881, a ship called the SS Orang Medan was sailing from Singapore to London. When it sent out a distress signal, the captain reported that several crew members had come down with a strange illness, and that the ship was in danger of sinking. But then there was silence. The ship was never seen again until 2 weeks later, when it was discovered by another ship floating off the coast of the Indonesian island of Sumatra. It had clearly been abandoned in a hurry. Lifeboats were thrown into the sea, but they found no one. Every single member of the crew was dead, but it didn't look like they'd been at sea for 2 weeks. Their bodies weren't preserved, but they also weren't washed up on deck or in the lifeboats. Instead, they were found below deck in the cargo hold, lying in unnatural positions, eyes wide open. Whatever had killed them had struck fast, and with such force that not a single person had been able to get themselves on deck before succumbing to it. An investigation revealed that several crew members had died from a toxic strain of cholera, which would explain why the ship had been abandoned. But that doesn't explain why the bodies were found in the cargo hold instead of on deck. It also doesn't explain how the ship remained afloat for 2 whole weeks without any crew to steer it. To this day, nobody knows what happened to the crew of the SS Orang Medan. No, to Mary Celeste. In December 1872, the brigantine ship Mary Celeste set sail from New York for Genoa, Italy. But something strange happened during the journey. The ship arrived safely in Italy, but there was no sign of the crew anywhere. The ship had been completely abandoned. There was still water in the barrels, food on the pantry shelves, and clothes in the bedrooms. It was as if the crew had just vanished into thin air. Over 150 years later, the mystery of the Mary Celeste remains unsolved. Several theories have been put forward as to what could have happened to the crew. Some say that they were attacked by pirates, or that the ship had been seized by the U.S. Customs Service for illegally transporting alcohol. Others say that the crew abandoned ship due to a storm, or that they were taken off the ship by an alien spacecraft. As you can probably tell, there is no real evidence to support any of these claims. And since nobody knows what happened to the crew, it's impossible to know for sure. But these aren't the only ships that have disappeared without a trace. No. 1. Bermuda Triangle ship disappearances. The Bermuda Triangle is a region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where many ships and planes are said to mysteriously disappear. The first recorded disappearance in the area was that of a British ship called the Mary Celeste, which went missing in 1896. Since then, hundreds of ships and planes have supposedly vanished in the Bermuda Triangle, including the USS Cyclops, which disappeared in 1918 with more than 300 sailors on board. Despite extensive searches, no trace of the ship or its crew has ever been found. Other ships, like the Carola Deering, which ran aground in 1920, have been found abandoned, but with no sign of their crew. Even today, ships and planes continue to vanish in the Bermuda Triangle. And while many of these disappearances can be attributed to natural causes like storms and mechanical failure, there are still a small number of cases that remain unexplained. These include the baffling disappearance of a tugboat and 2 barges in 2011. The tugboat was last seen on radar approaching the Bahamas, but it was never heard from again. The Coast Guard conducted an extensive search but found no sign of the tugboat or its crew of 7. These are just a few of the many ghost ships that have been found with their crews missing. While some of these cases can be explained, others remain unsolved to this day, leaving us to wonder what really happened to these ships and their crews. If you like scary stories, stay tuned for more.